sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106.
It is a Thursday afternoon, Thursday, the 4th of July, 2024. And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Sorry. No, just the music. Yeah. Mhm. Sharing a bit of the political history here in Jamaica on the occasion of the 131st anniversary of the birth of the Right Excellent Norman Washington Manley, born on this day in 1893, and that accompanying re- recording is is called Independence, and it's by Lord Creator. So that's a bit of the history there, musically and otherwise. And then on the same day, there is the 248th anniversary of independence of the United States of America. So we're going to share an iconic speech in just a moment. It was it's a text of Abraham Lincoln's speech delivered at the dedication of the Soldiers National Cemetery at Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. And so we will share that speech and also follow it up with a bit of music as well. So here we go. 70 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate We cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Thank you very much for staying in touch with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. As we continue 20, where are we now? This is still the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the fourth day of the seventh month of 2024. In a moment, we'll have more.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. With over 40 years of record service, Lock Safe and Fold Limited is your trusted security provider. Get affordable prices on a wide variety of seals, garage doors, access control supplies, magnetic lock, fingerprint, weatherproof keypads, card access system, time attendance, core supplies, and exit buttons. Professional services provided. Visit 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Problem solved with Lock Safe and Fold. Motorists, listen up, cause we have a couple tips. If you ride on your bike, have on your helmet. Seatbelt is a must, no drive without it. And make sure the little one, them well strapped in. Make sure them fit good in a them car seat. Pedestrian this term, bring back to mind everything what you learn. Never you cross when you see a green light. Look right, then left, then again look right. Remember now, if it's dark outside, make sure you wear something. When look right, walk right or drive. Be wise, stay alive. On the road, be safe, stay alive. Road safety begins with you. A message from the Road Safety Unit. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management (ODPEM) is reminding the public to take the following precautionary measures as we prepare for a hurricane. Check in with friends, family, and neighbors to see if older adults and people with disabilities need assistance. And don't forget the needs of your pets. Shelters do not take household pets, so remember to create a plan and have supplies available for your animals. The public is being asked to continue to monitor the media space for further advisories and should take the necessary safety precautions as issued by the ODPEM, Meteorological Service of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Information Service.
The uh yeah, we'll keep this theme now until it ends. Mhm. Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Do we have your legal corner this week? Okay, we'll check on that and come back to you, listeners. Thank you very much. As we we didn't have the program last week. Sorry about that. Apologies for the absence last week of your legal corner with U.S. immigration attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. We trust you are well, Dahlia Walker Huntington, and we can't wait to reconnect with you, and we look forward to that reconnection. In the meantime, some of the usual observances. The In the United States, July is being observed as Cord Blood Awareness Month, Healthy Vision Month, International Group B Strep Throat Awareness Month, Juvenile Arthritis Awareness Month, National Cleft and Craniofacial Awareness and Prevention Month, Sarcoma Awareness Month, and UV Safety Awareness Month. Here in Jamaica, the Ministry of Health and Wellness is encouraging all of us to celebrate our healthcare workers for their commitment, service, and sacrifice. The birthday of Queen Sonia is being celebrated in Norway. Latvia is marking the commemoration of Jewish genocide. It's Day of Agwe in Haiti, Family Day in Lesotho, Fisherman's Day in the Marshall Islands, the King's Day, the King's Day in Tonga, CARICOM Day here in the region. So that's another one we don't want to forget. That's a significant observance on a day like today, the 4th of July, 2024. And it's also Independence Day, not just in the United States of America, but also in Rwanda. So there you go. All right. So what we want to do this afternoon, if you don't mind, is to hear from you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad, with respect to how you fared through Hurricane Beryl. So we want to hear from you and what did we get right? What do we need to work on, generally speaking, so that we become even more prepared than ever before. So each time we want to get better. That's the idea. And if you saw something, if you experienced something that you think we could get better or we could fix or otherwise, please share so that the rest of the nation can channel their thoughts accordingly. So the lines are open. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. So we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So we're looking forward to your calls and your messages. Again, on the text line, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And the regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. Wherever in the world you are, please feel free to share. And we see quite a lot of messages. Let's try our best to see how many of them we can go through. This one says, "Hey, Mr. Malcolm, the road from Tatchwalk Bridge to Cave Valley to Bog Hole I think you're trying to say they're blocked with fallen trees from Clifford." So Clifford, I think we're a little late in getting that message. Sorry about that. We trust those trees have been removed. Those downed trees have been removed. And that's the kind of presence of mind that we're looking for in terms of sharing with us information-wise so that we can pass it on accordingly. And all right, there's some information from yesterday as well, which is no longer relevant for today, but there's other information that we will always need. And this person says, okay, we did this one, or read this one already. So we're going to move right along. Thank you very much. And Patricia Mackenzie Thomas says, "Hope you're safe and well. as well as we can be. Thank you very much, Patricia Mackenzie Thomas. Very kind of you. And this one says, email address. Okay. With the person who is asking for the email address, it's dervanm@yahoo.com. That's DERVANM@yahoo.com. Hope you got that. And here comes Franklin McDonald. Good afternoon, Mr. McDonald. How are you? Hello? Reception not so hot this afternoon. Not sure why. Yes, Mr. McDonald, the reception is not the best right now. Hope it will get better.
Okay, is that any better?
That sounds better. Yes.
Could I make two or three quick points about the recent experience with Beryl?
Sure. Please do.
First of all, you and I spoke last week about the need to use the knowledge that's available on the internet.
Yes.
One part of that is the ability to see the hurricanes on a radar system. As you know, the Jamaican radar is not working, but the Cuban radar, which can be dialed up on the internet, is. So any member of the public or media house can directly look at the radar. So the eye of Beryl was visible from about 9 yesterday morning on the Cuban radar. In addition, a second accessible piece of information for the Jamaican public or Jamaicans in the diaspora is the wind speed at several automatic stations around the coast of Jamaica. You simply need to say to your Google device, what is the wind speed at so and so? So and so could be the Moran Point Lighthouse, the Palisados Norman Manley International Airport, Rocky Point, Black River, or the Negril Lighthouse. Yesterday afternoon, those wind speeds for Rocky Point, Black River, and Negril all reached between 180 and 200 kilometers per hour. And that seemed to have persisted for about 3 hours in the late afternoon. That accounts for the significant damage we are hearing about now from the southern parishes. As far as I know, Dervan, there is no building in Jamaica designed for 140 mile per hour wind. You can check with the engineers if you want. So I just wanted to share that.
Yes.
That the diaspora, the Jamaican public, can access a great deal of information on their own. And you will find that it corresponds to the information coming out of the official sources.
Official sources being the Met Office?
It's a guide for action. And we, I think, can learn lessons from that. I gather that many of the buildings with a large roof span, Manning's High School, Monroe College, other public buildings like hospitals, have severe damage, and that the digital and flow networks are still being brought back into service. So, as I said, I just wanted to share that because the public may need to know how it can verify or add another layer of information to the excellent information coming out of the Met Service and the ODP. And then use common sense to guide the local action.
Yes. Well put. Thank you, Mr. McDonald.
So my sympathy to those people in the western parishes, and I hope the system that ODP has spent nearly, this year ODP celebrates 45 years. I think their layers of resilience have been built up, and now needs to be exercised and also needs to be assessed after the event. We need to see what could have been done better and objectively, without losing our tempers with each other, see what we need to do to prepare for the next event, whether it's an earthquake or another hurricane.
That's right. We're up on another break. One moment, please, Mr. McDonald.
Sure.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now 2:45. The Auto World. It's the only program on Jamaican radio dedicated to the world of automobile. It's the Auto World with Chevy and McNacker. Get news and reviews related to vehicles.
Emit the loud noise we associate with going out of service. And I'm not sure if that's appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And another effect of climate change, which perhaps needs to be discussed, is that with climate change has come a great deal of electric activity in the atmosphere. So that in the last few years, it has been recognized as an effect of climate change is increased lightning and lightning storms. Again, I leave that to the metaphysics to explain to the public. What we need to recognize how complex climate change is. And again, I invite your listeners to Google climate change and better understand what a complex phenomenon is turning out to be. It affects human diseases, it affects the behavior of the sea, it affects the plant growth and maturity. So the effects on all kinds of things are complicated. And I think people need to exercise their natural curiosity and go and Google some of those things.
Mm-hmm.
The second piece related to Simon's program is some 40 years ago, the Caribbean as a region created an entity called CARILEC. I sent you the link to CARILEC. CARILEC is an organization of Caribbean electrical utilities, and in fact, has responded to a variety of disasters under the framework of both the regional security arrangements and SEDEMA. And so there is, in fact, a cooperative arrangement in which, by the way, some of the U.S. state electrical utilities are associates or partners that does respond when there is need for external electrical technical support, meaning technicians and trucks.
Yes.
So I heard the discussion, but I'm not sure if people understood that CARILEC has been around for some 40 years. I sent you the link to CARILEC, and the people who overlap with that program may want to Google CARILEC and see what it does. And also spend a little time trying to understand what the regional framework for disaster resilience, management, and response is. Because I hear a lot of calls being made with discussion about points where the Caribbean region is regarded as a bit of a pioneer and leader over items like cooperative response to electrical outage or port damage or restoration of airport facilities. These are things the Caribbean has been doing for decades.
We need to take some deep dives to find out what we're missing out on in terms of information already or data.
Your listeners and callers call with complaints without first looking at what the actual situation happens. Many of those items are freely available. Government of Jamaica agencies have been posting items on the internet since the 1980s. And in many cases, your callers, I mentioned this last week when we spoke last Thursday, that many of your callers call before Googling and ask for things that are Government of Jamaica documents. Like you had a discussion about the police procedure in reporting road problems. That's a police procedure which is on the internet. The Jamaica Constabulary Force orders related to things like that have been posted for at least a decade and a half. So it creates the impression that Jamaica is not a modern state, when indeed and in fact, many Jamaican state agencies are using the wonderful invention of our Barbadian colleague who invented the search engine.
Yeah. Well, we thank you for your resourcefulness.
As I say, there's a lot of knowledge, and maybe the older members of the audience need to speak to the younger members, their own family members, and learn some more about how to find that information, and in the present circumstances, how to empower themselves with existing items of information to make the current situation less difficult.
Yes.
Okay, Dervan, all the best. Congratulations on the programming. And as I say, congratulations to these agencies that I think have done a fairly good job of making sure that the impact of beryl is reduced. The successive governments in Jamaica since July 1980 have created a capacity which did not exist in colonial Jamaica and did not exist to some extent in some of the places in the metropole. And the Jamaican, Caribbean, and island people have done a tremendous job, I think, of making sure that the regular hazards, the hurricane, other things, are better managed. Whether or not those systems will stand up when we have an earthquake or tsunami are left to our own resources. We certainly have the intellectual capacity for setting up the systems, and we need to perhaps communicate them better to the public.
True.
Okay, everyone, thanks for the opportunity. I'm off now.
Sure. Thank you for the call, as usual. We appreciate it. Thanks. That was Franklin McDonald, who has become one of our regular listeners, who is always helping to point us in particular directions of interest. And we are grateful to him for his interest. Thank you, Mr. McDonald, and all the very best. And we continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, here on Power 106 FM. And we should tell you from now, we have to apologize once again for the absence of this week's edition of Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Delia Walker Huntington. So sorry about that, but we will not be airing Your Legal Corner this week, as was the case last week. Sorry about that. Sincerest apologies for any inconvenience caused. In the meantime, we continue with more on both sides of the story. Ras Asta Black says, Happy Earth Day. Who is that now? All right, we're not seeing who. Just a moment. Just Happy Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, my brother, says the message. Well, happy birthday to whomever is celebrating a birthday today. Chris from Kingston says, Good day, Dervan. Condolences to the family who lost their loved ones in burial. Chris from Kingston. We commiserate with you, Chris, and all those who have lost relatives under the conditions, the Hurricane Beryl. Condolences to the family, friends, colleagues, neighbors, well-wishers. And may you ride out your storm, as the song says. Thank you for sharing, and all the very best. Also, Richard Johnson from Atlas Ocho Rios. Thank you for your message, and all the best. And yes, we saw the link that you sent, Mr. McDonald, the Carilec link. Thank you. And also, yeah, that's about it for now. We have, we still have a couple more, but yeah, that's this one for today. Let's see what we have here. Let's see. All right, we'll continue. And just while we're at it, since we touched on it and it was mentioned by Mr. McDonald, Carilec is the Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation. I'll repeat, the Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation, Carilec for short, CARILEC. One moment, please.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is presenting another finalist in the 2024 Jamaica Festival Song Competition.
Welcome, Jamaica. It's your girl Tristar, and my song is Jamaica, Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica. Sweet and nice. We love your little island vibe. Jamaica, Jamaica. The island notes how many one people we rise. Tell them say we lick up and we tell our sweet
Jamaica Festival 2024. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows while they watch their mother and father fight. He says she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him is gone.
One of our listeners is reporting that most of Troy Bridge remains have been washed away. I just thought I'd share that since this bridge has been in the news for some time. That's the information that has been shared. We'll follow up if we need to. And Veril says, not with you all at this time, brother. Okay, Veril. Thank you for your message. In the meantime, we're taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Feel free to share your thoughts with us, your ideas. Maybe there are things that you have been seeing, or things, hazards that you have identified and you think need our attention and it's worthy of sharing publicly, etc. We look forward to your interest and participation. The numbers to call 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And again, the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And again, we apologize for the absence of this week's edition of Your Legal Corner. And we will apprise you of the details as soon as that information becomes available. But that's where it's at right now. And we thank you very much for your interest and participation here on both sides of the story. Horror 106 FM. I get the impression there's a kind of a calm that has come over the places that with which we're most familiar. It's kind of one of those. The mood is calm. In the meantime, though, we continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And hope you got the information, the bit of information we shared with respect to the Caribbean Electric Utility Services Corporation. If you've never heard about it before, It's an association of electric energy solutions providers and other stakeholders operating in the electricity industry in the Caribbean region, Central and South Americas, and globally. The CARILEC Secretariat endeavors to improve communication among its members, providing technical information, training, capacity building, conference, and other services. The Secretariat plays a leading role in electric utility advocacy, growth, and sustainability in the region. It was actually established back in 1989 with 9 members as part of an electric utilities modernization project funded by USAID or USAID and implemented by NRECA, NRECA, under a 5-year cooperative agreement. And their information on their website says currently CARILEC has more than 110 members, which includes 33 utility members that are electric utilities and more than 75 independent power producers, IPPs, associate and affiliate members that are companies involved in some aspect of servicing the electric utility business. So an entity like Jamaica Public Service Company would naturally be a part of this body of individuals. And they say, according to the CARILEC bylaws, the CARILEC bylaws provision, it's made for the appointment of a board of directors comprising not more than 15 and not less than 3 members to be responsible for policy governance. And it goes on. Useful organization, especially at a time like this, as far as the impact on the electrical apparatus of the Jamaica Public Service. So rest assured from what we have seen that the JPS is doing its best to restore electricity where it is on account of their duties that you would want to know the extent of the impact and the connection, etc. All of that must be quite fascinating when it comes on to managing that national system of electricity. It's quite something. And some of us, we've gotten so used to the technology, so to speak, that we feel as if we're really missing out when we have to be in the dark, even if that darkness has a little light. But there are those who are playing their part and trying to restore service, and a little patience is required, and let's see how that all unfolds. But we would imagine that those vested with the duties to act are in fact acting and will continue to play their part. Let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello to Violet White. She says, good afternoon, Dervan. Good afternoon. She says, condolences to the families on the loss of their loved ones. Several organizations in South Florida getting together needed items to send to Jamaica. That's very generous of you and compassionate too. Hubert Fowlin says a very pleasant July 4th to Mr. Dervan Malcolm, both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, and your listening audience. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. Valerie Weller-Peck, welcome as well. And Inez Ayona Campbell, greeting everyone and wishing all a happy 4th of July. We would imagine they're involved and attending all different kinds of events and happenings, and therefore some not able to join us here or online. And we quite understand that. You have to do what you have to do. Thank you very much. Asha Ash says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Hope you're safe. We're giving thanks as usual, Asha Ash. Thank you. Hope the same for you, and hope you are being safe as well. Errol Townsend says, good afternoon to you, Sir Dervan. Good afternoon, Errol Townsend. Blessed afternoon to you too. Thank you. And all the very best as we continue here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. You can send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, and you can call us on WhatsApp as well, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346 for all your text and WhatsApp messages. We look forward to receiving them. Thank you very much. And the regular call-in lines, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And so we continue to take your calls, your feedback, and ready to answer your questions. Oh, here's a message on, which one is this now? This is Instagram. This is Instagram. They're asking how, let me see if I can bring back that message, how they can contribute as far as relief supplies are concerned. So, but something else, hold on. Let me go back and come back to this one. Share, no. All right, we'll hopefully be able to go back to that question that I saw popping up online. But you can call us. You can call us or text us or WhatsApp us if you want to make a contribution as far as the impact of the Hurricane Beryl is concerned. If you feel free to message us and we will share the information. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 3:15. It continues to be all smiles at Wellington Dental. We offer dental care for the entire family, including cleaning, whitening, and other dental services. There's future access and an exciting play area for the children. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Telephone 876-984-5482 or 876-749-3515.
Thanks a lot for staying with us. Someone with the moniker Unplug and Unwind messaging us saying, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, and all the viewers and listeners. Good afternoon to you with the moniker Unplug and Unwind. Thank you very much for connecting, and all the best to you as we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. No doubt there are those who are already looking to make their contribution. But of course, we need to be careful on both sides where that is concerned. And you might want to identify one of the bona fide resource persons or organizations, because we do have those. And there's one that just popped into my mind that could play a part in that regard. But I don't want to say much more right now. The Gleaner is sharing some information here. And quoting a resident of Tavistock Terrace in St. Andrew. And the quotation is, "The disaster of Tavistock, the destruction is now complete," said a resident of Tavistock Terrace in St. Andrew. The community has been plagued with issues since a major landslide last November. A section of the road collapsed after a developer began excavation that caused a water main to break. Another developer caused damage to another section with similar land clearing activities. The road deteriorated further following the passage of Hurricane Beryl on Wednesday. So sorry to hear, and trust there are remedies that can make a difference. Let us know one way or another. Sorry to hear, though. So sorry to hear. And there's a terrifying, I don't know, a situation of a female on top of a house on a sheet of zinc that is trying desperately to lift and fly. But this woman has decided to sit to try and hold down the zinc to prevent it from injuring someone. But she herself appears to be in danger. There's a tree was felled in the yard, and she's still holding on to the zinc while the wind continues. I That's really brave. That is really brave. But we still have to be careful. But she's brave. I'm sure this is one of those that has gone viral. Holding on to the zinc. Wow. Whew. That was quite something. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. As we continue to take your calls on 876-922-4112-5. If there's information you'd like to share with us as far as your experience riding out Hurricane Beryl, then please please go ahead and share. By all means. Thank you very much. Quite a few more messages coming in from Natalie Winter. She says, "Hey, Dervan, watching from Washington Gardens, Kingston, Jamaica. Hopefully we will weather this one with much damage. I am okay considering the weather and circumstances," she writes. Derek Morgan says, "As we celebrate 4th of July in the USA today, I'm thinking about my people in Jamaica. God bless our island people during this difficult time." We join you in expressing those sentiments, Derek Morgan. And Calvin, good day to you, Calvin Roberts, from Canada, I believe. Thank you for checking in with us. And right, so Violet White is saying, "Good afternoon, Dervan. Condolences to the families on the loss of their loved ones. Several organizations in South Florida getting together needed items to send to Jamaica." So that is encouraging news. And thank you for sharing with Jamaicans right here at home. Barbara Hart says, hold on. Right, this one says, "Good afternoon, Sir Dervan. In Stony Hill, still using my generator with many other Jamaicans, and happy Independence 4th of July Day to each of our Jamaican diasporas and families in the USA." And she was saying she wasn't hearing me at all. Not sure why, just frying on the stations. But bless up to you and your family, and hoping that we can get back power. So there's a bit of a power cut, it seems. We're sorry to hear of your plight, and trust that things will return to normal sooner than later. Keep the feedback coming in. We're just curious to find out how things have been with you and yours, and whether there are things that you saw or experienced that cause you to want to share your experience and essentially share the information as to whether there are steps that can be taken to make changes because of this or that happened, and how this or that took place, etc. So that whatever, as we are learning more about safety preparations before, during, and after storm systems, etc. So it wouldn't hurt to share some of the stories of how things have evolved to where they are right now. Hi. So we are continuing to invite you to call in or message us. 876-365-3346. Those are the numbers. That's the text line and WhatsApp number. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And we are seeing a notification here coming through from the Jamaica Tourist Board. Jamaica official statement: reopened for business after Hurricane Beryl, dated July 4, 2024. And let's see what it says. Islands, it's written by Linda Honholz. Islands, airports, and cruise ports announce reopening schedule. Jamaica's reputation for resilience continues. And as Hurricane Beryl moved past on July 3, Jamaica's hotels and resorts were well prepared as staff and guests remained safe during the storm. Jamaica's airports and cruise ports have announced plans for reopening. Sangster International Airport, SIA, in Montego Bay is currently scheduled to reopen at 6 this evening. Norman Manley International Airport, NMIA, in Kingston is currently scheduled to reopen at 5 tomorrow morning, Friday morning, the 5th of July. The Ian Fleming International Airport in Ocho Rios is currently open. Jamaica's cruise ports, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Falmouth, are currently open. Visitors are advised to contact their travel advisor and airline provider for updates before arriving at the airports. Jamaica is open for business, and once again, the resilience of the Jamaican people is on full display. Jamaica's Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, added that we are grateful that there has been no wide-scale impact to our general tourism infrastructure, and our tourism industry is fully operational. Our message to our partners and visitors is Jamaica is ready for you. So come back to the destination you love. Donovan White, Director of Tourism for the Jamaica Tourist Board, encouraged tourism industry partners across the world to spread the word that Jamaica is open. We are ready, willing, and more than able to welcome our guests back to our beautiful island, said Director White. There's more after the break.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30. Jesus, oh Jesus, oh how I love to call your name. Tune in to Power 106 FM for the longest running religious calling program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line on Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us. We shall live here. Amen. We shall be a living testimony here on the Lord's side.
We're also getting some information that the Cayman Islands and let me see, the information here says Cayman Islands and Jamaica hurricane update, all good. Good. Blessed, still beautiful morning to everyone, says this notification. The message says, we are all alive, kicking, and had my first coffee already. This is a message received from Robert Stevens in Jamaica. Also, Cayman Islanders report they are okay, ready to repair and move on with their routines soon. So the story is conditions are beginning to slowly improve across the Cayman Islands, with all hurricane warnings no longer in effect. Also in Jamaica, the situation is under control. The situation is under control, with Montego Bay International Airport reopening around 6 p.m. today, July 4. Hurricane Beryl was passing the Cayman Islands this Thursday after lashing out on Jamaica and causing destruction through the Caribbean. Based on all available sources, both Jamaica and the Cayman Islands report damage and repairable destruction, with infrastructure for its essential travel and tourism industry in place. Many trees are down, roads are blocked, and electricity in parts of Jamaica is out, but people are alive and safe. Hurricane Beryl in Jamaica, street party tourists. Okay, Minister resilient. And the pool areas and beaches around beach resorts need cleaning up, but there are no reports of injuries, casualties, or major disruptions. Tourism resilience seems to be winning, at least in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. And the writer goes on to say, now concentrating on Yucatan in Mexico, the next target for Hurricane Beryl. All right, let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. All right, hold on a moment. We're not hearing you as we should. Just a moment, please. Let's see. Where are we here? Here we go. Yes, good afternoon. Go ahead, please. Hello?
Yeah, you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, should I start by saying happy 4th of July or happy Beryl? Which one?
The choice is yours.
Okay. So I understand Beryl is on an island up in first I heard he was in she rather, I think the woman name. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, then Barbados, Jamaica, and then the Cayman Island. So in Jamaica, any major damage?
I have not been able to survey enough areas across the country to be able to give a report which you seek.
Yeah. Well, gone somewhere else, so I start rebuilding. You know, I saw disaster for some time. So next question now, guys, I think we have get some misunderstanding. The people who help the shelter, how the shelter thing work?
Those who are in need of shelter present themselves. And once, well,
I mean, I learned that in school and all those places they use that shelter, is true?
yes.
So they don't have era where, well, everywhere do them thing different. Here, shelter is a place where you go, you have a security system, you have to show your ID, them check you in, make sure everything is alright, and you go in and you stay there until the start of the self. Different from school?
No, it just so happens that a school building is one of the shelters.
Yeah, but any time of disaster, you understand that. But away from this disaster, you have place where them build say, like for the homeless people, this is the shelter. This is where you stay until your family starts yours, or you start yourself.
These are not long-standing sites. These are sites that come to life.
For instance, here, if you say you get yourself arrested and you go to prison, and go and release you, and you don't have no family to take you in, and you have nowhere to stay, then send you to the shelter and you have to stay there until you get a job and can go in somewhere for yourself. That's not the work in Jamaica?
No.
So, next question I want to ask in this case. When they're going to get them system up to, I would say, the international standard like other countries?
That depends on the timeline they're working with.
I don't understand that.
The timeline that they're working with will determine when they get to the level that you hope they'll get to.
Yeah, but I always made them talk about the shelter thing, and during this burial thing, I asked a few questions, and what I'm hearing, and I'm a bit surprised that, it's something more like how we're going to stay there until. You understand me?
I hear you.
So, all right. So the rebuilding process started already?
We would like to think so.
They're going to get things up and running.
What did you say?
This time from the politician side, no promises. They're gonna get gone. At one point before America, we hear that they must move fast, clean out drain, clean this to avoid the flooding. So that take place.
All that needed to be done has been done.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Let them move fast. So where we go from here now, like a very pass.
Where do you think?
Well, we're just in case that because them is the hurricane season, so in case the next one come, we'll be safe and sound.
Okay. You're understanding now.
No, the politician must get it. We recently get one, and it's this season, so another one can come. So put everything in place, just in case another one comes.
That's what's expected.
Yeah, but it's not that expected. That's what must be done, or will be done.
And expected.
All right, boss. I hear you loud and clear. All right, thanks, man.
All right. Thanks for calling. Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. And taking your calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. All right, so we continue. And there is a, all right, not that one. Let's go up the line here. Couple of messages. Gina says, ride out the storm. Thanks. And that was yesterday. And so it's a much calmer day today. And our people are going about their business insofar as that is possible. And we wish them well as they try to work their way back into their routine deliverables. Let's see. Stephen Barnes says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Great program as usual. I think National Road Agency could do a lot more with clearing the trees before the condition arrived. We are a tourist destination. Clear roads, says Stephen Barnes. Thank you for your message, Stephen Barnes, and all the best. Velta Wilson says most areas in St. Thomas lost JPS power, but we are grateful to be alive. Thank you, Velta Wilson. Ashiba Brown says homeless shelters are different than disaster shelters. Yes, that is correct. And Ashiba Brown says of the caller, what is he talking about? Disaster shelters are schools, large buildings. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. And let's see who else is messaging us. Keep those messages coming in. Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott, East Central St. Andrew says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan and everyone listening. Hope everyone's safe. And so say all of us. And this is Jason about to tell us about Grenada. Is that it? Sharing with us devastation in Grenada from Hurricane Beryl. Grenada PM, complete devastation. Let's go to the break and come back with more.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 3:45. Both sides of the story. Confidence in those who serve, especially in the public sector, is vital to Jamaica's progress towards Vision 2030 and beyond. Many people have quietly and diligently given sterling service over the years to the benefit of many Jamaicans at home and across the world. Our 106 FM is playing its part in showcasing those individuals who served in building our nation and to create greater public understanding and appreciation of their sacrifice presents the feature Service Stalwarts. Listen to Service Stalwarts every Wednesday at 4 p.m. during Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm right here on Power 106 FM. Both sides of the story. People looking for truth. We must not live without the show. Before we close our eyes, walk away from here. Till you see those signs. No.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Cynthia Wright says, watching you from my friend's backyard, celebrating Independence Day, about 50 of us. Stay strong, Jamaica. Thank you very much for staying in touch with us here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thank you, and all the very best. And that was, let's see. Norman Hines says, blessed afternoon, Sir Dervan Malcolm. To you too, Norman Hines. And Derek Morgan says, as we celebrate 4th of July in the USA today, I'm thinking about my people in Jamaica. God bless our island people during this difficult time. Thank you for your commiseration. We appreciate you. And as Iona Campbell says, good afternoon, everyone. Happy July 4th. Indeed, we have a lot to be thankful for. This one says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. God's grace and mercy kept us in spite of the storm or hurricane. And there's another bit to that message. Whichever we are grateful, she says. And Barbara Hart says, sound came back clearly, Sir D. Now, happy to hear that. Thank you for that update. And we'll keep it going here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Audrey Smith in Southampton in England says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere. Really upsetting seeing the hurricane over there. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much for your kind consideration, Audrey Smith, and all the very best to you. And may you too continue to be safe. Thank you. So the text line, once again, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, hi, Dervan. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, H. Morgan in Birmingham. I'm just reaching out to say thank God everyone is safe, except for those two people who lost their lives. Condolences to their families. Just hope everyone will be able to pick up the pieces and continue as usual, says H. Morgan in Birmingham. Thank you very much for your kind commiseration. As we continue, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. We're just curious to find out if there are things you have noticed or experienced and you'd like to share with our listeners and viewers all over the world. That gives us some ideas in terms of what else we need to do or how else can it be done, etc. So thank you for being a part of that experience. This one from Miss Blake says, "Hello, Dervan. Are you still available to speak with me since there was bad connection last time?" All right, we'll have to check on that, Miss Blake. All right, we will come back to you with that. All right, but that should be fine. It should be fine, but we'll come back to you. Sorry about that. And let's see. Just making sure we're covering all our bases. Thank you. And keep the updates coming in as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And we never get tired of Franklin McDonald's links, shares, and presentations. So, by all means, let's see what Mr. McDonald is seeing. Whoa. Whoa. What to the slave is the 4th of July? So that is a selection by Mr. McDonald from the archives. Right, so What to the Slave is the 4th of July was a speech delivered by Frederick Douglass on July 5, 1852 at Corinthian Hall in Rochester, New York, at a meeting organized by the Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society. In the address, Douglass states that positive statements about perceived American values, such as liberty, citizenship, and freedom, were an offense to the enslaved population of the United States because they lacked those rights. Douglass referred not only to the captivity of enslaved people, but to the merciless exploitation and the cruelty and torture that slaves were subjected to in the United States. All right. So there's a picture of Frederick Douglass, dated, well, from about, it's an approximate date, 1852, circa, CIRCA, that term circa 1852, meaning about 1852. And this is the information. All right, we will do our best to put in some reading to find out exactly what Mr. MacDonald himself discovered. So we'll come back to that. But thank you for sharing as usual, Franklin MacDonald. And let's see. Let's keep it going here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And let's keep it going as we check up on some of the others. There's information coming from elsewhere as well that we skipped through because they're going on a different tangent. Let's see. So Stephen Barnes was concerned or upset about, what did he say? Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Great program as usual. I think National Road Agency, or I think you meant National Works Agency, could do a lot more with clearing the trees before the condition arrived. We are a tourist destination. Clear roads, says Stephen Barnes. Thank you for your message, Stephen Barnes, and all the best. Try to get some more here. Let's see what we have here. Trying to get through this information. Right. So here we go. Noted for its biting irony and bitter rhetoric and acute textual analysis of the U.S. Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Christian Bible, the speech is among the most widely known of all of Douglas's writings. Many copies of one section of it, beginning in paragraph 32, have been circulated online. Due to this and the variant titles given to it in various places, and the fact that it is called a July 4th oration, but was actually delivered on July 5, some confusion has arisen about the date and contents of the speech. The speech has since been published under the title, What to the Slave is the 4th of July. And it goes on, date, and the speech has since been published under the current title in the Frederick Douglass Papers Series 1, Volume 2. So the background is the Rochester Ladies Anti-Slavery Society was founded in 1851. The inaugural meeting between 6 women took place in Corinthian Hall on August 20. Frederick Douglass had moved to Rochester in 1847 in order to publish his newspaper, the North Star. He had previously lived in Boston, but did not want his newspaper to interfere with sales of the Liberator, published by William Lloyd garrison. Douglas had spoken at Corinthian Hall in the past. He had delivered a series of 7 lectures about slavery there in the winter of 1850 to 1851. Additionally, he had spoken there less than 3 months prior to this speech on March 25th. In that speech, he cast the abolitionist movement as being engaged in a war against defenders of slavery. More in a moment.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time at Wellington Dental is... Join your favorite nighttime show, Dear Pastor, with Reverend Dr. Aaron the Bass, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. Call in or text in and have great discussions with Dear Pastor as we exchange views on a range of subjects. That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron the Bass, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM, the Power 106 FM app, and go-jamaica.com.
So, according to the 1850 census, there were around 3.2 million enslaved persons in the United States. Although the import of people directly from Africa had been banned in 1807, the domestic slave trade, still legal, was thriving. Over 150,000 people were sold between 1820 and 1830, and more than 300,000 were sold between 1850 and 1860. In 1850, the Fugitive Slave Act had passed Congress as part of the broader compromise of 1850. The act forced people to report people who had escaped their enslavement. And it goes on. Well, this is a little known bit of history. Not that it hadn't existed before, but in terms of the frequency with which you could get your hands on this document. But we want to share the information on a day like today. In 1850, so this was at the heart of it. In 1850, the Fugitive Slave Act had passed Congress as part of the broader compromise of 1850. This act forced people to report people who had escaped their enslavement and escaped to a free state under punishment of a fine or imprisonment. Additionally, it awarded $10 to a judge who sentenced an individual to return to enslavement, while awarding only $5 if the claim was dismissed. Finally, the act did not allow the accused individual to defend themselves in court. This act drew the ire of the abolitionist movement and was directly criticized by Douglas in his speech. All right, we're going to leave that there for now. 876-922-4112-5. This one says, "Good day, Mr. Malcolm. Would like to wish my sister a happy birthday with blessings." And this is from Owen Samuels, aka Righteousness. Okay. Thank you very much for your message. Let's continue. 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. 411-225. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And Lily White says, good afternoon, Dervan and viewers. Good afternoon, Lily White. Thank you very much for your message. As we continue to take more of your calls, I still find this business of sitting on the roof as being, I mean, that's a brave, I'm still saying it, that's a brave woman, very brave. That is still being circulated. And we're seeing a breaking news flash. Let's see, what's this? Vladimir Putin says he supports Donald Trump's plan to end the war in Ukraine. Says Trump has not detailed how he intends to end the war, but he supports the idea. And Putin purportedly says, you know, the fact that Mr. Trump, as a presidential candidate, says he is ready and wants to stop the war in Ukraine is something we take very seriously. I haven't seen his ideas on how exactly he's going to do that, and that is the key question. But I have no doubt that he says that sincerely, and we support that. So that is being shared by Simon Atiba, that breaking story. Okay. It remains to be seen how it will all end. And there are those of us who want to hang around for that, to see how it will all unfold. So we continue with more on your program, both sides of the story. Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Where in St. Mary can residents get hurricane relief? I don't know. Let's see. So the person is asking, where in St. Mary can residents get hurricane relief, such as water, food, toiletries, and other emergency supplies or assistance? Well, we were going through the files, the notifications, the information. Is it? Yeah, I think they're still in here, aren't they? No? No? Okay. Maybe not. But what I would suggest is the St. Mary Municipal Corporation, considering that's what we went through over the last couple of days, just giving people information as much as we can. And I think that your list would be for St. Mary. So it would be the St. Mary Municipal Corporation. So we just need to find the information and share it. So for the that's the one for the parish disaster representatives. So we're still in need of that information. So Karen Rowe says, continue keeping safe, my fellow Jamaicans. And before that, she says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm, and all tuned in. I am happy Beryl has made her way out of Jamaica. My sympathies to those who have lost loved ones or destruction of properties. And then she says, continue keeping safe, my fellow Jamaicans. Thank you very much. So the question was about St. Mary, which, let's see, shouldn't be too far away. Let's see. All right, let's go a little faster. St. Mary, where are you? St. Elizabeth. Oh, come on. St. Mary. Not seeing it. Why am I not seeing St. Mary? Come on. Oy, oy, oy. That's strange to be seeing everything else and not seeing St. Mary. Let's see. There we go. Whew. I was wondering about that. So St. Mary, let's see. So that the person, who is it now? The person who messaged us, a huge hit, but we have Steve McDonald is calling us at the same time. Right, so we do, the one we need is actually the one with less paper. It's you found it? Yes. With the contact number. It's the one with the contact details of the disaster preparedness representative. All right, we'll have to come back to that because we have to keep the program going here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Let's go to Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada. Good afternoon, Steve. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Dervan, and good afternoon to your listeners and to my family and peace out here in Westmoreland. I know that quite a few got hard hits. I haven't heard anything from the Darlington area as yet, and there's not much from Lennox. Well, I haven't heard anything from Lennox because I heard that Grange Hill was hit very hard. Quite a few trees were down and house top, roof were blown off. And South was the same too. And I know that at Mannings we lost some roof of one building, completely lost its roof and the auditorium. And interestingly, the old building is still standing. They built those buildings to last. Yeah, and what I see is that we're not getting much. It seems as if the telephone is still down in that side. But Dervan, I was surprised at the lack of coverage on both TV station when I went on today. I went on at different times early in the morning. In the morning time, 10, 11, 12, at one stage there were one TV station was showing soccer some soccer match in wherever, I don't know where that was. And another one was showing people, some person fishing, some Caucasian person fishing, and they were doing some cooking show, which I thought was a bit strange because afterwards everybody is going to tune in to find out what was happening, and there was no local coverage of what was going on. So it makes me wonder as to what type of preparation the TV station did in terms of, because I know I would expect them to have had outside broadcasts, and they would have made, I would expect them to have at least someone in each parish.
Sorry, one moment, please. One moment.
Sure.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now 4:15. Tune in to Pearl 106 FM, the longest running religious calling program on Jamaican radio, The Prayer Line. Join Pastor Errol Hay and his team as they offer spiritual guidance and intercession grounded in biblical doctrine. Hear powerful testimonies from Jamaica and around the world. The Prayer Line, a source of support and inspiration in these trying times. That's The Prayer Line, Power 106 FM, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. Join us.
It's all right. Thanks. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Steve McDonald out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, originally from Lennox Big Woods here in Jamaica, more precisely in the parish of Westmoreland. He is disappointed with respect to the coverage of Hurricane Beryl. Yes, Mr. McDonald.
To be more precise, Dervan, the TV coverage as of from today, leading up there, I mean, I don't know what it was like on the TV yesterday or so forth, but even today, and even the radio stations that were carrying stuff, I think Emily Shields went out, she did her broadcast on the road, which was good. So I just found it completely strange. And, we just had a diaspora conference. They were carrying it. Everybody know that. Everybody should know now, and they would know that we have a significant...
Hello?
So, yes. Are you hearing me?
Sorry, go ahead now. Yes.
Yes, I was saying that we all know that we have a significant diaspora outside, and with everything that was happening, everybody would be, we would all be tuning in, and we were now expecting that you could go to the TV station, but to get some information or to at least see what was happening, but it was a total failure.
Well, here's Hugh Robinson, one of our listeners and viewers, says CVM have people on the ground and TVJ also, and goes on to say, I was watching it this morning online, and I'm not on the island right now.
Well, I went on to the TV station, and at the different times when I checked, which was around 10ish your time, they were showing a football program on CVM, and then TVJ had initially, they were doing some rebroadcasts, and then they had a chef program, and then I saw another program with someone who was doing fishing. I can't say what that person saw, but I'm telling what I saw at the time. So, and it wasn't, it was, I started to look from around 8 o'clock, which was a 9 o'clock my time. So, 8 o'clock your time. And I think I stopped watching at around 1-ish my time, which was around 12 something your time. And all during that time, I didn't see anything. So I can't say what he saw online. I'm actually talking about the actual broadcast because I get the feed. So I didn't see anything on the actual TV station. So, which was very disappointing to me because we, as I mentioned, we have this global diaspora, and I did send TVJ and CVM tweets. Of course, they didn't bother to respond. So that was sent. No response there, but we have a global diaspora, so people are going to be seeking information. I to be honest, I tuned into Fox and got I saw someone on Fox doing something, so I was able to get information from Fox, but no information from any of the local Jamaican station. But as I said, I would have expected them to have people in each parish, and I would have expected them to be blanking total, just carrying everything about what was happening in all parishes, and give the people backup. You can have the backup power storage, and certainly people, there was internet connectivity, as I was able to speak to some people. So use data and you transmit out. There's no reason why it should have been total blackout this morning where that was concerned on the TV. So I found that very disappointing, and I hope that they change that going forward from that perspective. But all in all, I just want to say that I'm happy that it wasn't worse than what we saw. The roofs can be repaired or replaced, and it wasn't worse where that is concerned. While I have it real quick, I just want to ask, the Minister of Health has said some time ago that they were going to provide more beds for the Sablama Hospital, and they were going to do some more stuff. And they're going to extend or build a new ward. We're having a significant crowding problem down there, and there needs to be an emergency situation in terms of what is happening. So even though they have plans to build another ward as a temporary measure, they probably need to have another field hospital, field area, whatever they call it, set up, because there's still a major problem. I cannot imagine what the workers are going through, because they're not able to supply the additional bedding. You hear regularly, you see on the internet that people are dying, the emotional trauma for families, but just the workers have to be going through that, have to be dealing with that. And I know for sure that they're not getting any additional counseling. No additional counseling is being provided. I mean, the trauma that they're going through is the workers have to go through just to help. It's just mind-boggling. I can't imagine what they're going through. Just have to be dealing with debt up on top of debt, and knowing that they're not able to assist. So I'm appealing. I'm not even going to say the Minister of Health anymore. I'm appealing to the Prime Minister. I'm appealing to the Prime Minister to try and help the situation at the Savannah Hospital, please. Thank you very much, Dervan, for giving me this time. And all the best to everyone, and to continue to be safe, and let us all help each other as we try to get things back together. Thank you very much, Dervan.
You're welcome. Thank you, Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada. And there's a message from someone who uses the moniker the Bronx 9. I have to concur with the last caller. The reporting on the ground leaves a lot to be desired. So, some feedback there from those who are not satisfied with what they have been receiving. Well, under the circumstances, well, it it can't be easy because you're leaving your family at home for the most part to go out in a troubling condition situation, and you're expected to keep your focus at the same time that you have your family on your mind, etc. Can't be easy, but we still have to do what we have to do. It's just one of those realities of life. One of those realities. Let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And someone is still asking about getting relief supplies in St. Mary. And this one says, Sir Malcolm, I know that Clarendon was hit very hard. How is the water situation and clearing of roads so citizens can get supplies and assistance for Maypen and Mineral Heights? I'd humbly suggest the municipal corporation in your area. In this instance, I believe it would be Clarendon, from what I'm seeing here. Sir Malcolm, I know that Clarendon was hit very hard. How is the water situation and clearing of roads so citizens can get supplies and assistance for Maypen and Mineral Heights? Well, that's the Clarendon Municipal Corporation. There's a reason why we were circulating the information, the contact information for the parish development officers. And so that's what we would suggest at this stage. And this one says, I believe the international media gave good coverage of the storm along with Power 106 FM up to the minute reporting. Thank you very much. Happy to play our part. And this one from Franklin McDonald, he says, I agree with my namesake that the local media coverage inside of Jamaica, at least by the major did you mean the major media house based in Kingston, has been very deficient, exclamation mark, says this person. And this one, from, let's see, from the Tourism Product Development Company, TPD Co. No major tourism fallout from Hurricane Beryl. That's a story that they are carrying. And there are Still have a few more messages. 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Now, where did that message go? Let's see. When was this? Jamaica Consul General to Miami. Oliver Mayer speaks on Hurricane Beryl relief. So this is sharing a press conference with the broader viewership, it seems. Let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30. Sending from foreign to Yard. Sign up today from abroad. You can manage clearance and pay online. Your loved one just has to collect it. Sign up. For more information, WhatsApp 876-577-8905.
Still have a couple more messages to clear. The Bronx 9 says, I am in London with family in Darlaston, Westmoreland, unable to make contact. Oh, so the person with the moniker, the Bronx 9, that's THEBRONK and the number 9. The Bronx 9 saying, I am in London with family in Darlaston, Westmoreland, unable to make contact. Sorry to hear that. But I think that's in terms of the connections. Let me see. This one here. Hi, Mr. Malcolm, using my banger. And that's what how some people refer to a not so fancy cell phone. So this one says, hi, Mr. Malcolm, using my banger, it's hard. Read JPS, no damage in De La Vega City, Spanish Town, and still no light. G, says this person. So that's the latest information on that. This person saying, hi, Mr. Malcolm, using my banger, it's hard. Read JPS, no damage in De La Vega City, Spanish Town, and still no light. G, says this person. Lily White says, complaints. Lord help us Jamaicans. I am in New York. I am pleased with the report I had in this difficult time. So that's what Lily White is saying. And let's see who else is messaging us. 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. So keep those messages coming in. as we continue with more on both sides of the story. And let's say hello and welcome to Miss Hermin, otherwise known as June, in Oslo, Norway.
Good evening.
Good evening. I was trying to remember the greeting that you taught me some years ago. Something about Ben Godai or something like that. I don't remember. Gudang Gode Medai. What does that mean again?
They go bra me my.
How are you doing?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I say I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yes. They go bra me my. Gudang Gode Medai. My are me and I do. Okay. Okay, how are you?
All the better for hearing you.
Yes, but I have a little cold. The weather is up and down here too, and today rain a fall, tomorrow sun a shine, things like that. And so it's a strange weather time too. Anyway, I'll forget about that. Yeah, man, I love to hear you, man. Last night I was very, very satisfied with Power 106 last night.
Mhm.
They briefed all night. At Dervan, I was up until after you was finished. There was a lady, Han, and I couldn't believe it was so much rain and things like that going on at the same time, and you people was in studio. It was amazing. I hope all night today. I was so tired. Me no sleep all night last night. Me I watch and I listen to everything, and I change from YouTube. Everybody I put out things.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I'm there change from YouTube, put YouTube and blah blah blah.
Mm.
So I was very satisfied last night with your Power 106.
Well, thank you.
You couldn't do better. I don't know what other people think. I think for myself, and I see what I mean. So that's all I have to say. Well, I'm watching and still listening what's going on. We did our people can say all kind of things about me. And what like that. And you know that I have a big family in Norway.
Yes.
And we are prepared to help our family and friends when we can, when the time comes.
That's very encouraging. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. And this one says, hello, Dervan, lovely reporting, and we are tuned in. Greendale, Spanish Town, no light and no water still, but we understand. Unable to connect with relatives in Duncan's Trelawney. Grateful to be able to listen to Power 106. And this looks like looks like Chanel. Looks like Chanel. Thank you very much for your message, Chanel, and all the very best. As we continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5, and the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. So as you listen, if there's anything that comes to mind, something that you saw, you heard, you read, you couldn't believe, or if your thinking was otherwise, then please feel free to share on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, and we'll be more than happy to play our part in getting the information out. How about that? Thank you very much. And let's see who else is messaging us now. Hubert Fowlin is sharing the connection. And this one says, this is a statement. Where is it? It's coming up. Right, so it's a statement. All children and staff accounted for and are safe, says the Child Protection and Family Service Agency. So there's the press release. And Lady June is calling us right now. June in Bermuda is now online.
Good afternoon, Sir D.
Good afternoon to you, Mrs. Richardson. How are you?
How have you fared? I am well, thanks.
And we have survived, thank God, and we're giving thanks.
Very good. Very good. I am calling specifically to disagree with the gentleman, I call him Mr. Mannings from Toronto, Mr. McDonald.
That's Steve McDonald, yes.
Yes, well, and then again, maybe I shouldn't disagree, but my family, we are, and the Jamaican community here, we are so satisfied with the coverage. You know, given. Even today, I was called to watch CVM on live on TV. You know, I didn't realize it would have been on today. You know, and I feel so sorry for some of the reporters, the conditions I saw them in. You know, one lady, her raincoat had fallen off her head. And I'm saying, instead of keep reporting, why don't you just put the hood back on her head? Because she was getting red, you know. You know, I said, oh my God. It was such a trying time for them. And I'm happy everybody came through okay. But, you know, we were very pleased. We are very pleased with the reporting that we have seen.
Well,
people were in St. Elizabeth. They were, as you know, I'm sure, because you were there. They were all coverage was all over, all over. St. Elizabeth was the worst because it was so sketchy. The you know, the connectivity was so bad. You know, but I'm happy with. I mean, and everybody that I connected with in Jamaica today did not have electricity, but they were so happy to be alive.
Yes.
You know, so happy. It could have been so much worse. So much worse.
So
you know,
true.
And I just want to give kudos to your station and the TV stations. You know, RJR, 106, CVM, you know, TVJ, you all have done yeoman service covering this. And I mean, and your show went over time. Yesterday, you and Miss Althea.
Yes.
Yes, that was so nice. That was rich coverage. You know, it took me back to the time when I first started watching you. Mind you, were barely out of color by then. When there was a hurricane, Mr. Malcolm, and your station was the only station on the air.
Yes. I remember.
That stayed on. I can't remember which hurricane it was. I can't remember which one.
I could do some research on that, but it would be one of the.
I would say it was Gilbert because you then would have been a little baby.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember. I can't remember. But, you know, I had to call to say thanks, because when you live abroad for as long as I've lived abroad, and you know, I'm one who always listen, always try to keep my ear to the ground.
Yes.
You know, as far as, you know, Jamaica happenings are concerned. You know, I try to stay as current as I can. And I shared the app for Power 106 so many people yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So many people, because, you know, I'm like the boss and the people are always calling me to ask me what's that.
Okay.
So I said, just download the app.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I shared it with so many people.
Okay.
You know, and they thank me for it. And, you know, I'm in turn thanking you and your station. You know, you have done remarkably well. Just want to say thanks, and I hope Jamaica comes through okay. And I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much for the call. We appreciate it.
Yes, and you know, continue to stay safe.
Thank you. We'll do our best.
And I'm sorry the gentleman didn't get the coverage he desired, but you know, for me and people who I've spoken to, you know, it was fine.
Okay.
You know, more than we expected.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Okay.
Take care.
Right, thank you.
Sure. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. I want to tell the farmers about the Digital Foundation. It not only help me as a farmer, but it help my entire community with farming. I want you to know that they have a new thing coming out called 20 for 20 for 20 grants. If you're a registered community organization with disabilities, schools, even farmers, you need to apply for the grant at the digitalfoundation.org.
Are you looking for a powerful platform to promote your business in North America or the UK? Look no further than The Gleaner. Reach the diaspora and ignite brand awareness through our geo-targeted publications. Call 876-922-3400 or your Gleaner representative to explore the available options and book your ads. Or email us at advertising@gleanerjm.com. Actualize your brand's potential today with The Gleaner, where life unfolds.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we should say hello. This looks like Verol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. He says, Mr. Malcolm, I'm happy to hear the good news coming out of Jamaica. Let us continue to give thanks to God for being with us. Blessings to all, says Verol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Thank you very much, and all the very best. Keep those calls coming in, those messages coming in. 876-922-4112-5. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And if there's anything you have seen or heard or read or taken note of in your space, in your environment, in your district, in your city, please feel free to share. I see Karen popping up on YouTube. She says, I concur with the caller. Thank you so much for keeping us informed at all times. Sir Malcolm, you're very kind. Karen Rowe, thank you very much for your message on behalf of the entire team here at the RGR Gleaner Communications Group. Thank you for your participation and preparedness to serve. Let's see as we continue with more here on, some information here that we almost missed. Jason shared this information. Please note the following update on road conditions from the Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Number one, from Airport Road to Port Royal, the roadway is blocked. There is a low section on the road leading to Port Royal. The police are monitoring it. Number two, Diamond Road, Stony Hill is blocked. Diamond Road, Stony Hill is blocked. Number three, landslide in Edward Peace in the Bogwalk area. Landslide in Edward Peace in the Bogwalk area. Number four, Temple Hall Main Road partially blocked by a tree. The police and residents have managed to clear a single lane. And Long Wall section of the Stony Hill Main Road is blocked by a tree. So this is information from the Corporate Communications Unit of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Issue number one, from Airport Road to Port Royal, the roadway is blocked. Let me check the time on this. Right, so issue number one, from Airport Road to Port Royal, the roadway is blocked. There is a low section on the road leading to Port Royal. The police are monitoring it. Diamond Road, Stony Hill, blocked. Landslide in Edward Peace in the Bogwalk area. Temple Hall Main Road partially blocked by a tree. The police and residents have managed to clear a single lane. And the Long Wall section of the Stony Hill Main Road is blocked by a tree. So I thought we'd share this information with you, our faithful listeners at home and abroad. And then there is devastation in Grenada from Hurricane Beryl. And the Grenada Prime Minister described the situation as complete devastation of our culture. Complete devastation of our culture from Hurricane Beryl. So that's an indication of the situation at the moment, the information that has been shared. Let's see. Sharon Wignall says, stay safe, cuz. Thank you very much, Sharon Wignall. And Sharon goes on to say, is it, or Velta Wilson saying, most areas in St. Thomas lost JPS power, but we are grateful. And Steve McDonald says, Dervan Malcolm, that is the nature of the job. The police, nurses, firefighters do it. And Natalie Winter, greeting us as usual. Thank you, Natalie. And all the very best. In the closing stages of today's edition of Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3844. 3346. 876 365 3346. Thank you for these many messages, and we'll continue to share them here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Marlon Hill says, glad to see you back up and running. And let's see. Marcia Rodney says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon, Marcia Rodney. How are you? Connie Scarlett Notice, good afternoon to you too. And all the very best as we continue with more on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And we thank you, our faithful listeners and viewers all over the world, for making it both sides of the story. We thank you for your continued listenership and support, and looking forward to hearing from you again. In fact, as we speak, someone is calling us right now. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm okay. I'm not bad. I'm giving God thanks.
Amen.
I'm calling from Christiana in Madison, Manchester. I'm having a serious problem with the JP.
Christiana, you said?
Yeah, in Manchester, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a serious problem. The JP is high towards birth and almost I'm from yesterday about 5 minutes to 10. And it caused fire inside of my house, in 2 rooms and in the bathroom.
Uh-oh.
And I've called them from yesterday, and until now, nobody comes, sir. I will have to stay inside most of the time from day because I don't know when the wire going to burst and come down.
All right, so let's get it clear. So what has happened is
it's a high tension wire.
Mm-hmm.
It run over my house, so one of it burst.
Oh.
Yes. So I'm just asking if you could put it out there for me because right now inside my house,
yes.
I can't get no light. We shall call them and they turn off the light, which is good.
Yeah, because that is critical. You want to make sure you're in control. Yes. They're in control.
Right. It cut up in a tree hole. Right now it's practically tree hole. So, sir, I'm so scared and worried because I don't know what can happen.
All right, off air. Let's take your contact information off air.
Okay.
All right, hold the line, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Thursday, the 4th of July, 2024. And all things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, on behalf of Adrian Reed and Renee Daly, thank you very much. On behalf of our colleagues here, thank you. And all things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, here's Dervan, Malcolm, wishing you a restful night.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what I'll do, I'll just take the name and number.
Okay.
So that, and to see if I can share the information with with Audrey Williams in particular,
Yes, sir.
who works with JPS. All right, so just a moment. All right, so go ahead with the name, please.
Pauline Bright.
IGHT. And the number to call you on?
328.
Let me get that. 328
9144.
9144.
Yes.
All right, I know their hands are full, but I'll see.
I know that too, but this is emergency because you understand it's like the high tension where I can.
Yeah.
It's like more like even not the meter box, but the other thing that they call it burn up your house too because the radiation come down. Not the meter box, you know what I'm talking about inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
It burn up too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dangerous thing outside is an emergency because I'm calling from one and not getting through. So I said make a call, see if you could put it over the ear for me.
Yes. All right, no problem. If you're not hearing from me for whatever reason, I'll give you a number to call, which is 365.
Hold on.
Okay.
365
3346.
334. That's 365 3346.
Yes, just remember to put the 876 before it.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
All right. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
It's the Radio Jamaica Major News Summercast. Weekdays at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 5 p.m. Weekends at midday and 6 p.m. on Power 106 FM and online at onespotmedia.com and go-jamaica.com. Can't catch the news at these times? Download the Power 106 FM app and the One Spot Media app from the Google Play Store or the App Store for news whenever, wherever at your convenience. Power 106 FM, powerful talk radio and news you can trust.
Transport and Energy Minister Dervan says he's awaiting reports from the Jamaica Public Service and the National Water Commission as to when full or partial services will be restored following the passage of Hurricane Beryl. Most of the country is without power and running water after the system battered the island yesterday, leaving a trail of destruction, especially in southern parishes. The National Water Commission has said at least 70% of its customers are without regular supply due to high turbidity levels. In an